He was labeled the weakest in class. But during the fitness test, he overturned expectations. He pulled off 100 pull-ups with heavy weights without gasping. The whole class froze at the sight. But in the elite class, he was still looked down on. A top student even stepped up to challenge him. He solved it with a single swing. The opponent collapsed instantly with no resistance left. He felt bored because he hadn't warmed up enough. His strength stunned even the principal. The principal decided to pour in all school resources, just to beg him to represent the school in competitions. In truth, his soul had just entered this body. This world is ruled by demon beasts through power. Humans face danger every single day. The strong claim both money and authority. The former host, buried in debt, offered body and soul to a dark deity. But that soul has now been entirely replaced. The current one is a salaryman's grandson who transmigrated, so he has no idea what that dark deity really is. The dark deity scorned humans as unworthy of understanding him. Just know the former host used his whole being to repay debt. His soul was taken and his body was seized by another. Now he realizes he's playing the role of someone cursed with bad luck. Panicking, he ran blindly, but a signed contract tightly binds both sides. Whoever breaks it suffers horrific punishment. Seeing him burning and screaming, the dark deity grew bored. He judged the soul too weak and better off dead. But he countered using the clause, coercion grants exemption. So the deity had no grounds to strike. For the first time, a human shut him down. Amid flames, he analyzed calmly and saw the deity was testing him. That meant he qualified to renegotiate a new contract. The dark deity burst into laughter, intrigued by him. A new contract manifested before him. The deity said fulfilling one wish of his would earn him a new fate, but that wish required creating 999 more wishes. He warned the boy had 1 minute before fainting and dying. He signed recklessly to survive. After signing, the deity vanished, leaving him to cope alone, sending occasional nonsense requests. He used memory to find his way home, wondering why this boss wasn't arrogant like old capitalists. Blank line. The room was full of debt papers piled high. He couldn't think yet. He was ambushed and struck on the head by a man cursing loudly. The man growled because he dared turn off the device. His partner warned not to hit too hard or they'd kill this pseudo-awakened body. He temporarily couldn't recall who these people were. The debt collector kicked him and brought up last week's debt. He even dragged up how his mother sold blood to pay debts. They insulted his mother for sacrificing herself for a waste. Childhood memories with his mother surged up. He remembered the dream of her collapsing and never waking again. She used to hug him and soothe him that things would pass. A strange power suddenly rose inside him. With one strike, he blasted the debt collector away. The others heard the noise and thought he'd been beaten hard, but the one flying was actually their own comrade. They began to sense something was off, then guessed he had reached a new power tier. The remaining two gathered energy to strike back, but he took them down easily without effort. They knelt and quickly revealed the mastermind was Lin Wu. He declared he would repay the debt and banned Lin Wu from causing trouble. Then he ordered them all to get out. After they disappeared from the house, he looked up and asked the air if the dark deity was present. A spatial tear opened and the deity confirmed he had sensed him. He guessed the power surge came from the deity backing him. The deity nodded, saying without intervention he'd be minced meat. He grew excited, thinking with such a boss he could rise in life. The deity warned the borrowed power was dangerous and could have exploded him. He complained working for free was unfair. Being stronger would help fulfill wishes. The deity closed his eyes, saying he'd give some reward per contract, but hadn't decided no more power lending. Yet he enjoyed the boy, who controlled power better than expected, possibly key to his fate. He asked if the second wish was completed. The deity said no, wait for the right moment. He asked what to do. The deity said deal with it himself. He wanted goals but couldn't rely on anyone, unfamiliar with this world. First, he checked the old host's phone for info. It showed only massive debts, no family news. Only one message from family remained, saying his mother collapsed the previous night. He rushed to the hospital late at night, saw a woman sitting silently by the bed, tension thick. He knew forgetting something serious would anger anyone. That woman was likely his sister Chu Yue-ting. Then the patient was indeed his mother. Everything differed from memory. He feared the old host caused it. He apologized and asked about her condition, but she responded with doubtful frustration, asking if he'd blame cultivation or deity swapping again. She said their mother worked endlessly to repay his debts, frustrated that she favored him and gave him everything. Their mother even lacked money for cancer treatment and nearly died. After venting, she said both mother and daughter were exhausted. She handed him 6 months of living expenses, saying she'd care for their mother, no ties with him. Debts were his to bear, and she ended all relations with him. He left the hospital silently. The deity saw his despair, saying the sister treated him as a stranger and it wasn't his fault. He was surprised the deity could comfort, saying old memories resurfaced and he often wanted to speak but couldn't. The deity closed his eyes and reminded him not to delay the wish. He changed topic, asking if proving his value would let him grow stronger. The deity agreed, saying as long as he offered value, He watched the boy's back, hoping this fate point wouldn't disappoint. The next day, news of him beating debt collectors reached Boss Chong. He didn't send men to cause trouble. In fact, he punished the subordinates for misconduct. Subordinates reported the beaten ones were Tier 2 to 3, while the boy had just reached Tier 2. He begins to suspect and rechecks the file. Even the weakest Level 3 can handle 10 Level 2 fighters. That gap can't be closed by skill. Maybe he's already Level 3. Interested, he orders close surveillance, seeing him as talent. Switch to him. As he steps out, a neighbor calls out. The man promotes a new batch of tonic and asks if he wants some. He refuses, saying he still has the old ones. Watching him leave, the man thinks he seems happier lately. Maybe has a girlfriend. In fact, since leaving the hospital, he spent days adapting and recalling old memories. People here must use special drugs to boost power, known as Yuje. They're expensive, which explains the former owner's debts. He's unsure of the exact cost, but a Yuje's physique is far beyond normal humans. His phone rings. The class rep says his leave has expired. The teacher wants him in class and couldn't reach him last night. He scratches his head, saying he didn't forget, though he actually did. Then he heads to school. The teacher is lecturing about the role of economy in Yuja's strength. He notes that a Yuja's status relies entirely on power. To change rank, one must hit the peak of that level. Level S is near godlike. Society has 5 tiers. Ordinary people from E are the outer tier, with Tier 4 upward being mid-tier. At least Level D is needed to enter, as currently the lowest Level E. While thinking, he gets hit by a thrown pebble. Turns out 2 bullies of the body's former owner are starting trouble. They mock him for only knowing theory and say one punch would drop him. He thinks every place has arrogant punks like this. After class, everyone heads to the yard for physical tests. The 2 bullies block his path again. Students nearby stay silent, afraid of getting involved. They sneer, saying his writing skills are useless. They lecture that Yuji only value rank and call him trash. He coldly replies they're bottom tier Level 1. The 2 freeze, speechless. They immediately swing a punch at him. He grabs the fist easily and asks why they're so weak. The bully panics because he can't move and notices the guy looks bigger. He squeezes harder, asking if it's his turn to break their teeth. The bully, in pain, is about to kneel and beg. Suddenly, a strong pressure surges from afar. It's clearly a master's aura. A Level D arrives and yells at them for causing trouble. He scolds the 2 for stirring chaos right after returning. The boy instantly changes expression and tells the teacher they were just chatting. The bully, pale with fear, pulls his hand back. The PE teacher gives a final warning, repeat it, and face consequences. Then he calls them to assemble. He has each student line up to buy tonics. After drinking, everyone becomes noticeably stronger. Some manage 50 pull-ups. He finds these tests strangely suspicious. The class rep rushes over, saying the teacher thought something happened since he skipped days. He says he's fine. She awkwardly admits she was just curious. She asks why he didn't buy the teacher's tonic. He says he has no money, thinking $6,000 a bottle is insane. She is about to warn him that not buying will cause trouble, but she's called up for testing mid-sentence. Her true pull-up score is 25. With the tonic, she fakes it to 35. He instantly sees why everyone buys it. The teacher wants money, but he doesn't need it. Then only his test remains. The teacher notices his empty bag with no tonic. He plans to use this chance to mark him down. After warming up, he eyes the bar, sensing something odd yet not simple. He grabs the bar. His body feels heavy, and it grows heavier with each pull, likely caused by the purple crystal on his wrist increasing gravity. Even so, he keeps pulling to test his limit. Everyone stares in shock. He nears 100 reps under max weight Level 2 standards for the elite class. Students crowd around asking when he reached Level 2 and what drug he used. The teacher is stunned, wondering if he used boosters, but those drugs are too pricey and wasteful now. Or he advanced himself, ruining the teacher's sales. Angry, he says Level 2 isn't impressive and wants to teach him a lesson. Elsewhere, the principal discusses a Level 2 tournament. The state needs elite Yuge. Only schools with a Level 3 get a slot. But the elite class is costly and resources scarce. The school can only support Level 2, and the tournament is 3 months away. Focusing on one student will doom the rest. He turns aside, asking an elder for advice. Just then, the PE teacher enters to submit class results. He dislikes the numbers mostly Level 1, but offers token praise. Then he says one student following him isn't worthy of being a UJ. Shenshu is invited for tea and feels tense due to the principal's strictness. He guesses it's nothing good. As he's about to open the door, his hand ignites. The Zishen says it's his wish activation reacting. Something he wants is near. It warns that once triggered, a wish can't be withdrawn. The principal calls him in. He steps inside. The principal lists skipping class, fighting and arguing, but says those aren't the point. He stresses money is the core of Yuja, urging him to quit. Hez shocked and asks if the principal means removing him from the Yuja path. The principal says Yuja training is costly, and his family can't afford it, though he sees potential for the elite class. But the school is in crisis and must invest in someone more suitable for level 3 development. After thinking, he offers to refund the tuition. The Zishan whispers it has located what it wants. It tells him to take that item. When he asks why it doesn't take it itself, it says only the contract holder's touch can retrieve it. He thinks he must reach mid-tier to clear his debts, and for that he needs graduation. This is the only training school and only teaches up to level 2. Becoming level 3 would change everything. He asks the Zishan for the promised reward, saying he needs it now. The Zishan sweats, fearing he will do something drastic. He confirms he wants the reward, borrowed power. The Zishan panics, warning his body can't handle it, but he stays firm. He says he can't accept expulsion or hell never advance, asking it to trust him. A burst of flame answers. It's the reward allowing him to use its power anytime. The principal sees him standing still and asks if he has more to say. He suggests rechecking his level before deciding. The principal thinks he's grasping at straws but agrees. They shake hands to conclude. The principal senses power only slightly above level 2. Chushin holds back all energy, knowing he has one chance. A second wave erupts, stunning the principal. Even the Chen Xieshen didn't expect him to explode past predictions. The principal jerks his hand away in shock. That strength is enough to leap straight to Tier 4. The result makes classmates wary of him. The principal wants Chushen to represent the school in the tournament. The sudden change leaves him dazed. The school is ranked last for years and desperately needs results. If they fail again, funding may be cut, so he wants to invest in one strongest student. As apology, he waives tuition, grants elite class entry, and raises tonics to 6 bottles weekly. He says talent like Chushen is valued anywhere, but hopes hell compete for the school's survival. Chushen understands the motive and asks about the black crystal. The principal says it was brought back by a former head, useless but treated as a school heirloom. But if the school can't survive, tradition is meaningless, so he can take it if he helps. Chushen pats his shoulder, telling him to trust him. The principal is happy but curious about his level. Chushen says he's hiding special power and wants secrecy. The principal is moved, thinking the public level is bait and Chushen has exceptional awareness. He calls a teacher to escort Chushen to the elite class and prepare resources. The teacher brings him to the second-floor home of the elite class and tells him to register. She asks about his connection with the principal. Surprised at his joy, he says it was just a normal talk. The PE teacher rushes over crying, saying he begged for him but failed and advises staying strong after dropping out. The teacher beside him is shocked and says Chushen joins the elite class tomorrow. The PE teacher freezes, remembering the principal angrily looking for him. Time fast forwards to evening. At home, Chushen collapses, wondering how to reach Tier 4 in 3 months with limited time and resources. He asks the master if there's a way to level up continuously, but it says he must meet conditions first. At least he's not expelled and gets tonics, so leveling can wait. Earning money comes first. The familiar morning sunlight falls over the campus. Chushin looks drained, as if lifeless. Standing before a cold, abandoned factory-like room, he wonders about it. Someone urgently calls him, making him turn by reflex. A distant figure waves energetically. It's teacher Zhang, loudly guiding him over. He says he didn't see him at roll call and thought he got lost. Handling the whole class alone makes things hard and asks for understanding. He remembers as the homeroom teacher of the elite class, surprising Chu Shen, who expected stricter staff. He asks why the elite class lacks teachers. Zhang Laoshi scratches his head, saying too few students meet requirements, so the school didn't hire more. He alone trains them. The main training area is inside. The outer zone is unused and rundown, making Chushen realize the school's poor state. The teacher reassures him that despite decline, the school's foundation is solid. He believes the place won't disappoint Chushen. The door opens to reveal a modern training room. He gladly welcomes him to the elite class. He says the class is in free training period, then leads Chushen to greet the class. Chushen looks around. This environment is far better, like a premium gym, and everyone trains seriously. But he glances toward another area. His instincts tell him something about the atmosphere feels off. After a moment, teacher Zhang calls everyone to gather and meet the new student. He introduces Chushen as a late entrant chosen for ability and hopes they support each other for the exchange event. Chushen bows for guidance. From afar, someone provocatively questions his strength. The boy folds his arms, mocking that if he entered through connections, he should admit it rather than tarnish the elite class's reputation. The teacher snaps at Ma Wenhao to watch his mouth because Chushen transferred legally. Ma Wenhao refuses to back down and officially challenges him, asking if he dares accept. Students buzz. An official duel risks reputation, requires full strength, and losing brings humiliation. Everyone sees it as unfair since Ma Wenhao is the class's strongest. Elsewhere, a student asks why it's noisy. Another says the new transfer is about to fight Ma Wenhao. The first is shocked, repeating that someone transferred in. Teacher Zhang tries to explain the duel only counts if accepted, but Chushin calmly agrees, leaving him speechless. Chushin adds that if it's a friendly match without lethal danger, he'll take it, wanting to gauge his level before the exchange event. At that moment, a panicked shout comes from the principal's office. Hu Wei jumps up asking if Chushin is really about to fight. Teacher Zhang reports clearly that Ma Wenhao issued an official challenge and Chushin accepted. The whole class is cheering wildly, chaos erupting as neither side backs down. Hu Wei thinks Chushin is testing his level concealment training and allows the match, ordering the arena prepared. Teacher Zhang referees and states the rule. Only 2 in the ring, interruption means expulsion. Both must fight at the same tier. Ma Wenhao is E2 and must avoid vital hits. Lethal or dirty moves after the match are forbidden. Ma Wenhao sneers, clearly intent on overwhelming Chushin. The teacher adds that a face hit or surrender counts as defeat. The start command ends and the fight begins instantly. Ma Wenhao charges at full speed for an ambush. He aims to grab Chushin's neck for a quick win, but Chushin breaks the move easily, as if expecting it. Ma Wenhao panics as his opener is cleanly blocked. He attacks repeatedly, but misses every time. Furious, he curses because Chushin dodges too well. Cornered, he uses a leg move to lock Chushin's motion. A flash of light bursts from that leg strike. His sweeping kick comes in as he thinks he's cornered Chushin. He unleashes the skill Gufeng kick, and Chushin blocks with his hand. Ma Wenhao is sure this technique will knock Chushin down and trap him. Chushin suddenly glares, his aura shifting at once. He channels power into his hand and slams the floor for momentum. In an instant, he counters with a dominating kick. Ma Wenhao is terrified that Chushin also uses a battle skill. Knocked back, he reassures himself he hasn't lost since his face wasn't hit. But Chushin's fist stops right at his nose. Chushin asks if a face hit means victory, then says he's lost. Ma Wenhao freezes, speechless. Teacher Zhang declares Chushin the winner. Ma Wenhao turns pale and stammers his defeat. Students are stunned the fight ended so fast. Chushin thinks it ended quicker than expected, but enough to gauge strength. He asks if Ma Wenhao has questions. Watching, the homeroom teacher is shocked that trained Ma Wenhao was crushed, while untrained Chushin shows elite movement and adaptability. A sudden praise startles everyone. They notice the principal standing there. He smiles and calls Chushin over for a private talk. Shen Jiashui watches curiously and tells Tushaoxia this freshman is impressive. He insists such a master must be recruited, making her sigh at his habit of collecting followers. Outside, the principal asks about class life. Chushin says fine, but classmates are a bit too excited, and the principal laughs. He tells Chushin to focus on training and ask for any support needed, prompting Chushin to consider bringing up finances. He hesitates and asks if students have any fast ways to earn money, making the principal freeze. The principal grips his shoulder, saying at his age he shouldn't chase money yet and the school can help if his family struggles. Chushin denies it and laments needing another path. Later in the training area, rows of iron weights are laid out. While training, Chushin thinks about the loan ban and reminds himself to be discreet if seeking money elsewhere. A strange sound makes him turn instinctively. Shen Jiashui approaches, praising the fight and probing his background. Seeing the awkward mood, Tu Xiaoxia scolds Shen Jiashui for being rude. She apologizes for him, introducing herself and Shen Jiashui, noting his bluntness but no ill intent. She confidently calls herself a senior and says he can ask her anything. He thanks her. Shen Jiashui declares the 3 of them a team with himself as leader, leaving Chushin baffled. He asks if Chushin came from a normal class and where he learned that move, making Chushin frown at the term battle skill. Shen Jiashui panics when Chushin says he doesn't know the term and asks what that finishing move was. Chushin says it was instinct. The boy turns pale at the over-the-top claim, and I step in to clarify things. Battle skills are powerful techniques learned from memory cores or stones, with power tied to mastery. Shen Jiashui says the kick that beat him was the D-rank Gu Feng kick, helping Chushin understand why he was swept. He thinks having a skill would raise his odds and asks if they're rare. Shen Jiashui says skills have ranks, strong ones are rare and pricey, and a basic D rank costs about $500,000, shocking Chushin. The girl excitedly boasts she has a skill and invites a spar. Xiaoxia confidently says she also has one. Chushin doubts them because the skills are so expensive, and this place is full of rich kids. He remembers he can ask them about ways to earn money. He quietly asks for any fast, legal way to make money for a skill, and Shen Jiashui nearly mistakes it for robbery. Then he says the only quick option is the Blackwater Zone. Xiaoxia knocks his head, warning teachers would punish him for such talk, making Chushin curious. Shen Jiashui scratches his head, saying he was joking because the place is deadly and forbidden. Entering means expulsion. He asks how much Chushin lacks, and Chushin admits about 300,000. Both of them recoil at the huge sum. Shen Jiashui turns away mumbling he's broke, and Xiaoxia sighs that she's out of money too. Chushin hesitates, then decides to risk visiting the Blackwater Zone after class. By nightfall, he's standing at its entrance. He stares at his phone to double-check info. I check the map and confirm this is indeed the Blackwater Zone. Only minutes from home. Hands in pockets, he walks in slowly, thinking his changed clothes make him unrecognizable, then asks his companion's opinion. Hearing no reply, he turns and realizes the companion isn't there. He frowns, thinking borrowed force level 4 is enough to run if danger appears. The outskirts shouldn't be too strong. But seeing the desolate scene, he doubts any so-called miracle grounds exist here. He suddenly stops after spotting human footprints. A door leading to a hidden passage catches his eye. He steps inside, unaware 2 people are tailing him. Their eyes gleam with ill intent. The sight inside stuns him. He realizes this is the infamous Blackwater Zone. Looking around, he sees a filthy slum. The alleys are filled with illegal dealings. He now gets why no one mentions it. This lawless place might still offer chances to earn money. He sighs, recalling earlier events. He spins around and calls out loudly to the 2 stalkers. One steps out, speaking provocatively. He boasts he planned to knock Chushen out and drag him away, and now that he's exposed, hell just finished the job. Chushen asks why. The man licks his lips, saying he assumed Chushen was a rich kid in disguise, and kidnapping him would bring big money. Chushen is speechless at the absurd logic. The man gets closer, threatening and even suggesting a partnership. Annoyed, Chushen curses at him, shocking the man. Chushen slaps him, sending him crashing to the ground. His underlings panic, seeing their boss hit. 2 pull knives, thinking Chushen ambushed him and needs a lesson. They charge aggressively. 2 wooden crates nearby are suddenly kicked out. They can't dodge and are taken down immediately. A mysterious figure appears before Chushen. She suddenly grabs his hand. She glares and orders him to follow, then drags him away at full speed before he can react. In a quiet alley, she exhales, saying it's safe for now. He thanks her but regrets not questioning the 2 men. She leans in, asking why he came here. Mid-sentence, she remembers to hide her identity and panics, making him ask if she knows him. She hurriedly says no, she just happened to see his name. She points at his collar, making him blanch. He quickly covers the name tag and thanks her, while she averts her eyes for forgetting her disguise. She warns never to reveal personal info here and offers to take him out, but he refuses because he still has things to do. He walks off. Worried she'll cause trouble if she knows he's a student, so he must slip away fast. Watching him, she's confused since he's clearly Chushen, unsure if he forgot or pretended not to know. She also sensed from the touch that he's now a power user. A mask is sold for 10 yen. He buys and wears it to avoid being recognized, but finds no way to make money despite searching. Someone calls out saying his bearing shows he's not local. He asks who he is, and the man claims to know this area best. Chushen asks if there's any quick way to earn money. The man laughs and tells him to follow, thrilled to earn a guide fee. Soon they reach a dark underground room. A heavy punch slams into a fighter's face. The unlucky man drops instantly. The crowd roars, and Chushen realizes it's an illegal ring. The guide confirms it. He says a big match's tonight winners get prizes and a cut of bets, and many ability users compete fiercely. Chushen notes the fighter looks fierce but is only level 1. He thinks this might be a good chance since the reward board is flashing. The guide suggests exchanging chips, but he says he'll earn money by winning himself. The man is stunned speechless by the declaration. The mysterious girl tracks him there but can't spot him, while the crowd screams at the new fighter's power. She's shocked to recognize his silhouette in the ring. She wonders why he'd dive into such danger. In the ring, the opponent boasts his name Ilufor and claims he'll be champion. Chushen ignores him and knocks him out with one punch. The referee is stunned. The match ended instantly. Chushen frowns and calls for the next fighter to speed things up. The newcomer starts to introduce himself, but the referee declares him defeated before he finishes. Another panics and begs for time but ends up the same. Has beaten without any chance to resist. In the control room, the boss turns pale, shocked that the weak kid is this strong. His men report fighters are fleeing and gamblers demand refunds, suspecting a fix, stressing him out. He refuses to let Chushen take the prize and orders an extremely strong fighter sent up. Meanwhile, Chushen keeps downing opponents like chopping vegetables. The new fighter also gets taken out instantly. Chushen asks again about the prize, but the referee ignores him and hypes the crowd. Then he announces a bonus match for excitement, making Chushen realize they're scheming. Even though Chushen refuses, the referee says they'll bring out their trump card. At first glance, Chushen's face darkens. A specialized card is pushed into the ring. A deformed Nevron construct appears. It's actually a grotesque monster being brought out. It's yanked so hard its face slams into the floor. The steel barriers lock shut immediately. He's confused about what's happening. Strange gas sprays from the creature's neck. A device inside it lights up briefly. The monster leaps up ferociously. It glares at him with terrifying hostility. A girl in the crowd screams while her companion pretends to stay calm despite trembling. The mysterious girl turns pale, not understanding why such a creature is here. With Chushen's current strength, he can't win. She could help, but would expose herself and ruin her mission. Frustrated, she mutters his name under her breath. Below, Chushen grumbles that his boss isn't here when needed. This foe isn't human at all. The creature's stare freezes him, giving a hunted sensation. Its fingers twitch slightly. It darts past him in a flash. He dodges by reflex, sweating one moment slower and he'd be dead. It clearly intends to kill him. He manages to lock both its arms. He braces with his legs to hold position. But its power is overwhelming, so he knows he must end it fast. With no choice, he boosts from level 2 to level 4. He gathers all force into his fist, then launches his strongest blow at its torso. Seeing it fall, he wonders if it's over. It instantly rises unharmed. He retreats in shock. His hardest hit did nothing, and its claws and bulk make close combat deadly. Instinctively, he weaves through corners to evade. The monster keeps chasing violently. Chushin seizes a chance and breaks one of its fingers. He grabs a sharp iron bar, then slashes at its neck with full power. The creature screams in pain. He knows the wound is shallow, but it's affected. One more close strike might finish it. Suddenly, white smoke fills the ring. He panics thinking it's poison, then realizes it's only fog. He freezes and a grazing strike tears his shirt. He spins away by pure instinct, but the monster ambushes from behind. Unable to see, he switches to pure defense, guessing it's using the fog to exhaust him without revealing openings. He knows if his borrowed force runs out, he'll die, so he must end it now. He steadies himself, using every sense to locate it. His eyes sharpen to their limit. A lightning-fast shadow becomes visible. He focuses, finally spotting the target. It charges at him instantly. He grabs its arm at the perfect moment. With one turn, he tears the limb off. The creature shrieks in agony. He rushes it with the metal spike in hand. Suddenly, his chest tightens violently. Pain like an electric shock nearly stops his heart. At that moment, the monster yanks the weapon, forcing him to react. It shoots out a long blue tongue. He can't dodge and takes a heavy hit. Furious, he roars and triggers borrowed force again. He grips the tongue tightly to stop it from retracting. With a violent pull, he rips a whole section off. He then grabs the creature's jaws. He grits his teeth. This fight isn't over. His eyes now show only brutality. The monster's throat is torn open completely. He roars and finishes it. The boss asks for an update, but his men see nothing through the thick smoke. When the smoke clears, the report leaves the boss petrified. His face turns instantly pale. The mysterious girl is stunned too, while the crowd explodes at the unexpected comeback. Seeing his back, she is dazed by the power he displayed. The creature's corpse is dumped harshly onto the floor. He scans the area with a chilling gaze. The underlings tremble in fear. The boss collapses, unable to accept the result. He grinds his teeth, mourning the loss of the expensive specimen. The announcement declares him champion and invites him to claim the prize. He sighs in relief. Later, he enters the backstage area. A suitcase filled with prize money is opened. The men report a total of 10,000 G. He reaches out to take it, but a hand suddenly slams the case shut. The boss blocks him with a cold face. He offers a deal: sign on as his fighter to take all 10,000, or leave with only 110,000. He scowls and demands the man's true intent. The boss yells that he ruined the operation and killed an expensive asset, so he must compensate. He calmly notes that the boss never said there'd be extra rounds. He reminds him of the underground rule. In the ring, life and death are accepted, no compensation. The words leave the boss speechless. He radiates killing intent, demanding the full 10,000. Cornered, the boss pulls a gun and threatens to kill him, asking if he thinks he can escape. Chushin crushes the gun in front of him and asks who's really unable to stop whom. In despair, the boss orders them to kill him. The black-clad men instantly aim their guns at him. He sighs with a frown. Gunfire erupts, making the mysterious girl panic at the direction of the shots. A large body is kicked out from the second floor and falls. The crowd screams, thinking someone is filming a stunt. The mysterious girl is shocked, sensing what happened. Backstage, the underlings are being beaten senseless by him. They resist but are taken down quickly. Bullets rain toward him. He grabs a gunman by the head and squeezes hard, then flings him out of the bunker. The wall shatters, the henchmen scream and order exit sealed. He runs fast, his chest pain spikes. His wounds worsen, putting his life at risk. At that moment, a hand yanks his collar and pulls him into a hidden spot. She covers his mouth while henchmen search outside. When it calms, she releases him and says it's safe. He questions what happened. She admits it and tells him to conserve strength, saying there's a secret escape route. She leads him to a dark passage, telling him to go straight to exit before lockdown. He hesitates, tugging his mask, and she urges him to hurry. With no choice, he leaves and softly thanks her. She stands silently watching him fade into the darkness. She ends a call with Sister Shi, asking to meet her grandfather due to a new clue. The door is struck hard by someone. Chushin collapses from pain. His face turns pale, body shaking, heart stabbing sharply. He curses under his breath in frustration. The pain knocks him unconscious. The system shows his status as Chushin E2, borrowed force and debt still over 99 million. In a dream, his mother admits her illness is incurable and she has only years left. She tearfully says she wants to see him grow up but can't. Chushin kneels by her bed, crying speechlessly. With her last breath, she says she loves him deeply. He jolts awake, eyes red from crying. His face is pale and breath weak. He looks toward the window by reflex. He's shocked to find himself in his old home. He blurts out disbelief that he's alive. He sighs, realizing the dream helped him wake though the past is long gone. Ta-Shen speaks, startling him. He asks where the boss went, and Ta-Shen says he was unconscious 2 days, almost dying. After hearing the story, Ta-Shen concludes he secretly fought a monster and collapsed from backlash. It scolds him for recklessly using power and risking death. It says reviving him earlier drained most energy, and another death can't be saved. The rebuke makes Zealot pause, realizing his recklessness. He softens, understanding he must value his second chance. Ta-Shen no Diaz saying the creature wasn't from this world, and he wants to avoid such places. Chushin exhales, mentions the girl at Blackwater, then decides to focus on leveling. He suddenly remembers the prize money. The stuffed suitcase appears before him. He hugs it tightly, relieved it's intact. While Ta-Shen teases, he says it will fund his upgrades till the competition ends. He gets up to treat his stomach wound before returning to school. He groans at having to visit a hospital, send money, and train, leaving Ta-Shen speechless. He visits Tianlin Hospital for a checkup. The doctor says the wound is fine and just needs to stay clean. The doctor asks if he's an ability user, and he confirms. The doctor tries selling a special package, but he refuses and asks for basic meds. The doctor prescribes anti-inflammatory drugs. He's relieved there's no poison, but notices itchy eyes. The doctor hands another bottle and tells him to go pay. He questions the glowing vial, but the doctor insists nothing is glowing. He is stunned, certain he saw it clearly and suspects only he can see it. The doctor assumes stress-induced hallucination and invites him to a counseling class for altered beings. On the shelf, every vial shines in his eyes. Outside, passersby also emit halos. He panics, thinking it may relate to his altered body nature. He checks his palm, guessing the light is the energy essence altered beings possess. He recalls earlier events and connects the dots. He laughs in amazement, realizing sensing essence will ease absorption and leveling. He freezes when noticing a stranger. A massive figure with overwhelming force passes him. He glances over and senses that man's essence is extremely strong. The man senses the gaze and is surprised since this area has no experts. His phone rings. The caller urges him to quickly secure the alien core. He replies, "Hell stay longer and visit the little princess," while the caller stresses the alien core can reshape history. Confidently removing his glasses, he claims the boss worries too much. If the core is hostile, hell handle it. That man is a mirror, an A-rank altered being. Next day, dawn shines over Lida U School. In his office, teacher Hu Wei sternly asks about the long absence. Jushin apologizes and accepts punishment. The teacher cuts him off, only asking if he had any trouble, not blaming the absence. He says the school fully supports altered students and doesn't doubt Jushin's combat ability. He repeats the school's goal of nurturing strong altered beings and hopes Jushin understands. Jushin no Diaz, promising to bring honor to the school. The teacher sends him back to class since classmates even search the office for him. As he enters, shouts of Jushin ring out. Shen Yashui cheers with an arm around him, while Tu Xiaoxia scolds him for worrying them. Shen Yashui recalls the combat skill matter. He pulls out a bank card, saying they gathered 300,000 for Jushin to borrow. Jushin is stunned they remembered his offhand comment. He waves it off, saying the skill isn't worth buying. Shen Yashui encourages him. Then someone calls his name. Ma Wenhao runs over, flushed, offering a 50,000 yen card to help. Jushin refuses, Tu Xiaoka snaps, suspecting Ma Wenhao's motives, making him panic. He awkwardly admits he once thought Jushin used connections to enter the elite class, but after learning the truth, he admires him and wants to be friends. Tu Xiaoxia leans in, proposing adding him to the team. Jushin smiles awkwardly but doesn't object. She concludes he can be the fourth member. Ma Wenhao agrees happily, and Shen Yashui jokes he should fetch water. Ma Wenhao refuses, saying he should pour water for Jushin since he once lost to him. Startling Shen Yashui, Jushin feels warm seeing them all. Soon after, the treadmill keeps beeping. Jushin pants, thinking leveling only requires absorbing essence, and intense exercise speeds it up. So most altered beings use body training, but he realizes optimizing absorption efficiency is harder than expected. He looks at his hands, noting even with many training devices, his absorption rate is low and excess essence is wasted. No wonder some never pass level 1. At this pace, he can't reach level 4 before the tournament, so he must boost absorption. Shen Yashui runs over, inviting him to spar to break the monotony. He remembers his essence sense awakened during a monster fight. He agrees immediately, wanting their help to test an idea. The group heads to the sparring room. Under the lights, Tu Xiaoxia unleashes Cloudburst Palm. Shen Yashui simultaneously uses Raging Shock Fist. Jushin dodges easily and praises their teamwork. After nearly an hour, he tells them to rest as everyone is drenched in sweat. Tu Xiaoxia complains she can't touch him, while Shen Yashui says this training helps him try more moves. He looks at Ma Wenhao, who eagerly waits his turn. Watching from afar, he sees full-power combat boosts everyone's essence absorption. With absorption so high, he plans to try his method. He explains essence supplements are diluted, normals can drink tons and never level, but borrowed energy is 100 times denser and can kill instantly unless only a tiny portion is used. He calculates he can convert borrowed energy into real essence for fast leveling if carefully controlled. He activates borrowed force and massive power forms. He tightens his lips, seeing the borrowed energy is enough for 2 levels. He lowers the energy flow to a tiny amount and succeeds. He opens his eyes, focusing all will to absorb. A surge erupts from his heart through his body. He reels as even a tiny portion floods him with energy. He curses internally, knowing more would explode him. He vents the excess and forces the energy upward to the limit. The immense surge fills the room, startling the group. They think it's an earthquake, wondering why his essence spikes so suddenly. Tashin appears, asking about the strange burst. It pales, seeing he absorbed its essence, and he confirms he controlled a small part for testing. Tashin doubts how he survived absorbing that energy. It mutters, unsure if he is its fate point. The info panel describes essence boosters made from special materials with varied effects. He asks about its comment, but Tashin only says being alive is good enough. Teacher Zhang arrives, and the group reports Jushen suddenly erupted with energy, shaking the room. He suspects it's essence-related and orders a meter brought in. The meter shows level 3, shocking him. He double-checks because he can't believe it. He rushes off to inform the principal about the first level 3 in years. Tu Xiaoxia excitedly asks for guidance, and he just says to train like before, inwardly scolding himself for the noise. Shen Yashui recalls the thrill of sparring and asks if more sparring can level them too. Ma Wenhao impatiently urges to continue. He charges forward for his turn, but Jushen pats his shoulder, wondering if Tashin will scold him again. Tashin says it's used to it and won't complain as long as it makes him stronger. Jushen says there's still excess essence, and once absorbed he might reach level 4. Tashin stays silent. From 12/7/2026, with only 55 days before the exchange match, he trains relentlessly. Then comes 17/7/2026, then 25/7/2026, then 29/7/2026, 3/8/2026, 15/8/2026, and 1/9/2026. Finally, 6/9/2026 arrives just 1 day before the exchange match. That morning in the arena, crowds cheer at the huge turnout. Tu Xiaoxia runs up excitedly, saying her mother would cry. Shen Yeshui notes the record number of contestants. Ma Wenhao asks if Jushen is ready for the level 4 match, regretting he couldn't level in time to fight beside him. Jushen says just joining is enough, and he'll forfeit if there's danger. Ma Wenhao reminds him level 3 and level 4 zones are separate. Shen Yashui promises to cheer after finishing, and Tu Xiaoxia agrees. Jushen waves, feeling lighter. He lowers his voice, telling himself to get ready. Scene shifts to the VIP stands. Hu Wei looks around nervously at his first time there, while teacher Zhang reminisces that the school once only joined level 2 events. A graying man approaches. Hu Wei happily recognizes old Wang. Wang Mingyuan, principal of Yunxiangyu, praises their school for producing levels 3 to 4 so quickly. Hu Wei modestly credits the students and thanks him for notice about the new format. Wang Mingyuan looks down at the arena, saying funding will greatly increase, making competition fierce. Hu Wei agrees. A coarse voice mocks them as country bumpkins new to VIP. Hu Wei fumes, but Wang Mingyuan quickly calms him, noting those men are principals of former champion schools. Hu Wei holds back, saying no one knows the outcome until the matches. The Shiguangyu principal sneers they're just loud dogs and should enjoy the view because they won't return. Teacher Zhang whispers to Hu Wei, worried whether their students can handle this high-level pressure. Hu Wei, Hai, and Xiaomei discuss that their students are capable, especially Jushen, whose talent matches any prodigy. Hu Wei Hai concludes they just need to trust the kids. In the stands, Liu Dian clutches a sign nervously, overwhelmed by her first time at such an arena and worrying if Jushen is okay. She feels a pang, recalling how unbelievable it was that Jushen entered the tournament. A week earlier, she wandered the hallway, remembering she rarely saw him after he joined the elite class. She thought he'd become too outstanding to notice someone from the regular class like her. Lost in thought, she tripped. A shoulder caught her before she was hurt. Jushen asked if she was okay, and Liu Dian shyly called his name. She thanked him and wondered why he was there. He said he was just passing by. She admitted she thought he'd grow distant after entering the elite class. He laughed, saying friendship doesn't change because of class status. Back in the present, Liu Dian knows he's still the same and believes he'll do well. The speaker calls contestants, and the stands erupt as Jushen appears. She immediately spots his familiar face. The info panel shows he has reached E4, along with detailed data. The host begins the opening ceremony. They introduce the outer tier tournament with 2 MCs, him and Lillian. The crowd cheers seeing Lillian, a famous idol, as co-host. Lillian smiles, saying today she's only an MC and the stage belongs to the contestants. She explains the rules. 12 academies, 4 entrants each, 16 level 4 fighters, 52 level 3 fighters. Groups compete separately and points combine. Match rules, 2 duel, winner advances, each bout capped at 30 minutes. She urges all contestants to give their best. She adds that despite strict rules, no need to worry, then raises her hand. At the tower's peak appears Bai Yue, an S-rank master, stunning the arena. He makes a simple hand sign. The ground transforms instantly with his gesture. Lillian explains this is a special arena crafted by the Grandmaster, with shields protecting the audience and automatic repairs. She adds the identification gem also guards contestants, impressing everyone with S-rank power. Jushin thinks S-rank abilities are godlike, far beyond imagination. He glances at the listless Tashin and relaxes a bit. Lillian announces the draw results will appear on the gem and declares the start. The round of 16 begins with Wang Lu versus Xiaonian. The MC describes the explosive opener as Xiaonian wins in 17 minutes with dazzling moves. She moves to the next match while Hu Wei says this year is brutal with an S-rank master assisting. Wang Mingwen notes the vast gap between levels 4 and 3 because level 4 fighters use full combat sets and wealthy academies supply C-rank skills. He grumbles that rich academies dominate through high-tier resources while other principals bow to them. Wang Mingyuan smirks that this year will be different. Then the speaker announces match 5, Lan Shen versus Li Jai. Lan Shen moves like a shadow, making himself hard to hit, but mere evasion can't win, leaving the crowd curious how hell finished the fight. On the field, Lan Shen grins, treating it as a warm-up done. When he unleashes his skill, the MC is stunned because it's an anomalous type ability, unheard of at E-rank level 4. Li Jai struggles helplessly, trapped and unable to break free. The MC notes the skill is extremely dangerous, and Lan Shen suddenly accelerates straight in. The MC shouts that he bound and finished his opponent in 5 minutes, throwing the arena into chaos with such overwhelming tactics. In the VIP room, Hu Wei is shocked, saying anomalous abilities are rare and usually awaken at D rank or above. The person next to him confirms Lan Shen is 1 in 1,000. Last year's runner-up Principal OU snipes that early awakening isn't that impressive. Wang Mingyuan counters that if it were worthless, OU wouldn't have spent money trying to recruit Lan Shen, leaving him speechless. Li Gua cuts in, saying early awakening is nothing to fuss over. The MC calls match 6, Wang Jia from Shiguangyu versus... But before finishing, something happens. In just 5 seconds, Wang Jia ends the fight the moment his opponent moves, proving the sweeping power of the 3-time champion academy. The crowd is stunned by the instant kill and assumes the title will again go to Shiguangyu. On the field, Wang Jia yawns that this season is boring. Ao Yu excitedly praises Wang Jia as personally trained by Principal Li and far above the rest. Li Gua sneers, saying the more they brag, the more they sound like barking dogs. Wang Mingyuan growls that we'll see who laughs last. Hu Wei, stuck between them, can only sigh he has no place in this power struggle. He realizes their academy can only show presence, and even one win or a small impression from Jushin would already be great. The MC reports match 7 has ended, and Jushin will fight the final bout. He warms up, curious about his opponent. Tashin asks why not use borrowed force. Jushin says jumping to level 5 would draw investigation since this group is only level 4. Right then, he runs into Lan Shen. She says he's unlucky being in the last match. He recognizes her as the previous fighter. She warns his opponent is Lei Che, a championship favorite with combat art so strong even D-rank altered fighters couldn't endure. He wonders why such skills are allowed. She explains the gem can block one lethal blow, but the body will be shaken badly. This is the brutal investment of rich academies. He asks why she's helping him. Lan Shen says their principals are friends, making them temporary allies aiming to reclaim first place from the perennial champions. She sighs that she once hoped he'd assist her, but facing Lei Che means no chance, asking him at least to wear him down and wishing him luck. Jushin worries about how terrifying Lei Che really is. The speaker calls the final match of the round. He steps onto the field, fully alert. The stands erupt because they've waited long for this fight. They whisper that Jushin landing the final match makes the atmosphere far more tense. The MC introduces the fighters, surprising Jushin with how loud the cheers are. But he quickly realizes the cheers are for Lei Che, not him. A streak of light shoots straight toward him instantly. The audience leaps to their feet, shocked by the sudden action. A blonde, well-built teen appears with overwhelming presence. Jushin turns back, eyes tensing with caution. Advertisement skipped, core meaning kept. The MC introduces Lei Che, a prodigy, who became an altered fighter at 12, reached level 4 in 4 years, and holds guild credentials and invitations. The stands roar with chants of his name. Female fans especially scream for him. Liu Denden worries, seeing he has a whole fan base while Jushin has none. Someone behind mocks that of course Lei Che is strong and handsome, while Jushin looks like he has a bad personality. Diandan snaps back, declaring she's Jushin's fan and calling Lei Che pretentious. The opposing fans argue, saying she insulted brother Lei Che and misunderstood Jushin. A fierce shouting match erupts between them. Lei Che's fans scream their lungs out, and Dian also yells fiercely to support Jushin. Classmates stare, stunned to see their class leader so intense. The MC hypes the final match, eager to see if Lei Che can topple the longtime champions. Lillian reminds him he forgot to introduce the other contestant. The MC apologizes awkwardly and continues. He introduces Jushin, but bluntly says he has no achievements, no specialties, and his school is debuting this year. Jushin's face darkens, regretting not buying a skill earlier just for appearances. The audience murmurs that such a small school must have exhausted itself, raising even one level 4. With no combat art, he stands no chance, and it's a pity they won't see Lei Che unleash his ultimate skill. Female fans laugh loudly, mocking the newcomer school. In the VIP room, Uyu pokes fun that facing Lei Che in the first match means the others are as good as eliminated. Hu Wei worries, but Wang Mingwen reassures him everyone has a first time. On the field, Lei Che mocks Jushin's bad luck, meeting him in the opening level 4 match. He brags about his genius burden and says even if he pities him, he won't hold back. But Jushin cuts him off, telling him to just fight normally. Lei Che leaps up, jeering. He leans close, saying he'll use only 1/10 of his strength as a warm-up, hoping Jushin loses decently. He even tells him to seize opportunities, leaving Jushin speechless since he already asked to fight normally. The MC panics as Lei Che disappears and reappears right beside Jushin, then backs off as if testing him. Then he announces the match begins. The moment it starts, both vanish from sight.
Lei Che reappears behind Jushin.
He throws a punch straight at his face. His speed makes his strikes pour down like rain. In the observation room, the MC is stunned by such abnormal technique. Lei Che creates multiple afterimages as if many attackers are striking, proving his speed exceeds standards and signaling a fierce title race. Lan Shen clicks her tongue, admitting he's a troublesome opponent. Wang Jia watches silently without comment. Aoyu smugly claims Lei Che is even stronger than this and that he spent great effort recruiting him. Lei Che scoffs that Jushin stands still, unable to follow even 1/10 of his speed. He brags only someone like Wang Jia is worthy, while Jushin is too ordinary. Then he launches a finishing strike. Jushin coldly asks, "Done hopping around?" The next moment shocks Lei Che. Jushin decisively punches him straight in the face. The two MCs freeze, speechless. Lan Shen is stunned and Wang Jia's eyes widen. Female fans and Lu Dian scream in shock. Lei Che's face is smashed, leaving him unable to resist. The MC stammers, unable to grasp how Jushin neutralized his blow, instantly uncertain if Lei Che blundered or truly couldn't dodge. Female fans protest loudly, accusing Jushin of cheating, while he simply thinks the opponent didn't attack. So he struck first since there's no rule against initiating. In the waiting room, Wang Mingyuan excitedly praises how strong their student is. Ao Yu explodes, insisting no level 4 is faster than Lei Che, so the other side must have hired help. Hu Wei calmly rebuts that any cheating would have been caught by the council unless Uyu thinks he's above them. Li Gua cuts in impatiently, telling them to stop. He reminds them the match isn't over yet. The MC is about to announce the result when someone shouts, "Wait!" Lei Che staggers up, insisting he hasn't lost, shocking the MC. His eyes flash with killing intent. He admits underestimating Jushin and vows not to hold back. He explodes with power, shouting his lightning ability is exceeding its limit. He declares his thunder will shake the arena. Jushin, watching, admits the opponent's essence is strong. A flash blast toward him, rattling him. It instantly fires behind him. The arena turns chaotic as Lei Che uses the protective barrier to chain speed himself like he's breaking limits. The MC leaps up, praising the ferocity of his combat art. Lei Che snorts, signaling Jushin to brace. He unleashes the ultimate skill Thunder Foul Explosive Charge Thrust, but he immediately takes another direct punch from Jushin. His body is hurled backward violently. Jushin sternly advises he should have attacked earlier before Jushin adapted to his speed. The MC reports Lei Che has been blasted away again. Lei Che's combat stone turns red, meaning he's fully unable to fight. The MC awkwardly concludes the final round of 16 match goes to Jushin, who restrained the outburst thanks to the forehead protection stone. The crowd murmurs that the strikes were too fast to see. The bracket updates instantly. Quarterfinal 2 begins. Yun Hu Yu faces Lan Shen and Lan Shen wins. Quarterfinal 3, Se Guangyu fights Wang Jia and Wang Jia wins. Chu Chen's classmates suspect the previous opponent held back and note the next match is against Chu Chen. Wang Jia suddenly gets angry, his eyes filled with killing intent. The two classmates are clearly terrified. Quarterfinal 4, Chu Chen faces Xiao Nian. Nan Mxi judges Xiao Nian's punches as extremely lethal, but Chu Chen dodges precisely as if he knows the attack paths. His speed overwhelms and he defeats the opponent in one move. Two people in the waiting room suspect Chu Chen hasn't used battle skills, only body enhancement. One thinks he may hide his rank or use illegal enhancers and demands testing. The MC announces the first semifinal, Chu Chen versus Liu Yue. Two men in black enter the arena, shocking everyone. The audience is confused why they appear. The man in black brings a testing device and tells Chu Chen to release energy pressure. Some students guess they're special rank assessors and suspect Chu Chen isn't truly E4. Chu Chen blames himself for standing out too much. The screen confirms Chu Chen is stable at E4. The man in black declares the rank accurate, no drugs detected. The MC is surprised the agents confirm Chu Chen is really E4, then resumes the match. Classmates are stunned by the test result. One jumps up shouting in disbelief that an E4 beats so many opponents. Semifinal 1 begins. Liu Yue feels uneasy facing Chu Chen's power. She is instantly knocked out by the opening strike. The MC announces Chu Chen's victory. Lillian cheers him into the final. In the waiting room, Wang Mingyuan is shocked and praises Hu Wei for such an abnormal student. Two principals flatter Hu Wei for training such talent. Owu eyes them with irritation and scoffs. Hu Wei is satisfied Chu Chen reached the final on his first try as expected. Semifinal 2 begins. Lan Shen steps up determined to defend her academy's honor. She calmly approaches Wang Jia. He looks at her with cold eyes as the match starts. The E4 bracket now has only Chu Chen, Lan Shen, and Wang Jia. Female students from Lan Shen's school cheer for her. Wang Jia glares over in annoyance. Lan Shen notices his opening and decides to strike. She dashes in to seize the moment. Lan Shen unleashes the battle skill, flowing motion hand. But Wang Jia stands still without reacting. She grits her teeth, realizing the move is useless. Wang Jia grips her hand and mocks her efforts. Lan Shen counters by striking his face and yelling back. He laughs, finding the situation amusing. Even while restrained, she secretly prepares another move. In an instant, she forms a surrounding trap on him. Lan Shen follows with the battle skill Wind Reaper kick. She feels pain from her injured arm but believes she hit him. But he remains unharmed and appears right behind her. She is horrified, not knowing when he moved. He coldly unleashes the technique Blood Slash. She is instantly battered. The MC notes both are strong, but Wang Jia is overwhelming, even damaging the arena. A girl in the stands cries out Lam Shen's name. Wang Mingyuan freezes in the waiting room but still urges her to hold on. Lam Shen lies exhausted and badly injured on the floor. The protective talisman falls still on the ground. She forces her eyes open, reminding herself she can't give up. A memory pulls her back to a rainy day at her old school. She entered class to find everyone gathered instead of training. A girl cried because she lost her subsidy and had to quit to work. Lam Shen smiled and promised she'd win the championship to keep the academy's subsidy. The girl tearfully asked again, and Lam Shen swore she wasn't lying. The girl remembered something and searched her pocket. She took out a lucky talisman her mother made and gave it to Lam Shen as the class cheered. Lam Shen gripped the talisman with renewed resolve. Back to reality, she whispers to stay firm. She struggles to move and reach the talisman. Wang Jia stomps on it and mocks her. He kicks her again with disdain. The MC reports the system shows Lam Shen has exceeded her endurance limit. That means she can no longer fight and Wang Jia wins. He channels force into his heel to finish the hero of Yun Huoyu.
Nan MC screams for him to stop, and Lillian covers her eyes in panic.
The audience is furious at his behavior. Wang Mingyuan shouts for him to stop immediately. The man in black warns of a possible fatality, but Bai Yue remains calm. He narrows his eyes, staring toward a fixed point. Wang Jia's strike creates a heavy shockwave. Chu Chen appears just in time, carrying Lam Shen away and condemning his bullying. Wang Jia turns back, startled to see him. He grits his teeth and calls Chu Chen's name. The MC confirms Chu Chen saved Lam Shen in time. Lillian exhales in relief. Wang Mingyuan rushes over, nearly collapsing. The crowd collectively condemns Wang Jia and calls for Chu Chen to teach him a lesson in the final. Wang Jia arrogantly claims one more opponent makes no difference. Chu Chen coldly answers the challenge, ready to face him. Lam Shen is taken away, and the MC orders the arena restored for the final. Shen Jishui is surprised to see Chu Chen's friend holding a cheering board. Dian Den reports Chu Chen has reached the final. She worries because this opponent is extremely dangerous. Wang Mingyuan leaves angrily and tells Hu Wei to keep watch. Hu Wei also warns Chu Chen to be careful. Chu Chen reassures them there's nothing to worry about. Wang Jia mocks his chances but gets cut off for talking too much. Chu Chen bluntly asks if he plans to keep fighting or not. He stays silent but his eyes burn with hatred. The MC announces the final begins. Wang Jia launches forward and vanishes from sight. He throws a massive punch at Chu Chen's face. They immediately clash head-on. Wang Jia mocks his strength. Chu Chen replies with the exact words he was about to say, making him pale. He mocks a champion with such poor skill. He immediately strikes forward. Wang Jia stubbornly unleashes the blood slash technique again. They clash violently. Nan MC is stunned. No E4 fight has ever been this intense. Lillian is also shocked. Students realize Chu Chen had held back in training. shocking everyone. Wang Jia starts losing ground and fails to dodge. A heavy blow lands, completely overwhelming him. Teacher Zhang is amazed Chu Chen can match someone with superior resources. Wang Jia widens his eyes at the sight of his own blood. He can't believe he's been hit like this. Angry, he forces his body to erupt and activates blood vessel burst, charging in. Chu Chen is amused, calling it the true nature of a battle skill forced energy boosting. A dark blur darts in at extreme speed. Chu Chen detects his opponent has sped up, but his own perception is superior, so he isn't fooled. The man in black warns that Wang Jia's energy is rising too fast and requests inspection. Baiwei explains it's the Wang clan's blood slash system, temporary boosting but legal. He adds Chu Chen still hasn't shown his full power. They continue a fierce exchange on the stage. Shen Jiashui panics from failing to follow, but Ma Wenhao notices Chu Chen is steering Wang Jia's rhythm. Now Wang Jie charges like he's lost control. Chu Chen dodges lightly. His eyes flash with killing intent. He counters, striking hard at the opponent's arm. Wang Jie channels force into his leg and stomps down. He blocks the previous attack with his hand. He grits his teeth, admitting Chu Chen is the first to match him, then roars that he alone is the strongest. Chu Chen asks if that's all he's got. He activates force borrowing, using up his remaining charges. Wang Jia charges again with blood vessel burst. Chu Chen answers with force borrowing. They collide once more. Chu Chen senses every strike clearly. He identifies the weak point at the heart area. Without hesitation, he drives his elbow into the chest. Wang Jia doubles over in pain, turning pale. Chu Chen closes in instantly. He unleashes a flurry of punches, driving Wang Jia into panic. He breaks down crying in despair. Wang Jia screams he's the strongest. Chu Chen tightens his fist and says the match is over. Wang Jia recklessly dives in for one last strike. A massive explosion erupts. The shockwave destroys the arena floor. Hu Wei anxiously asks about their condition. As the smoke clears, a figure appears. The MC states Wang Jia is standing, but then realizes he has lost the ability to fight. The one still standing is Chu Chen. Chu Chen is declared the E4 champion. Lai Deu thus overturns the rankings with 200 points, marking the first time a border region academy wins the national championship. Classmates cheer that the outskirts now have such a powerhouse, all proud of Chu Chen. Teacher Zhang shouts praise emotionally, and Hu Wei clenches his fist in support. He sheds tears, saying they no longer need subsidies, leaving Teacher Zhang choked up. Two other principals go congratulate Hu Wei. Li Guo snarls in irritation. Oh Wu runs after them, unwilling to fall behind. Bai Yue turns to leave and lets subordinates handle the rest, though still intrigued by Chu Chen. He suddenly stops upon seeing two figures ahead. He frowns seeing Lin En appear as well, seemingly here for Chu Chen. The man with her praises the outskirts for producing such a talent. He asks Lin En about recruiting Chu Chen. She says they were once neighbors, but he didn't recognize her. Lin En vows to try her best to bring him into the guild. The award stage is ready, and Hu Wei proudly presents his academy. He emphasizes that even small places can raise geniuses. Reporters ask Chu Chen to look at the camera. He forces a smile, exhausted. The next day at the principal's office, Hu Wei happily says the academy shone thanks to him. He hands over the promised black stone, believing it will please the academy's founder. Chu Chen is proud to receive it. Hu Wei warns big academies will try to recruit him, but hopes he won't forget Lai Deu. Chu Chen agrees with a smile. After the talk, he leaves the office. Meeting his friends, Chu Chen asks why they're still here after school is over. Shen Jiashui says they came for him. He throws his arm over Chu Chen's shoulder, announcing they all received offers from 5 major academies. They congratulate him, and Shen Jiashui says all their achievements came from their leader. He seriously declares their group must aim high, they'll become the strongest allies someday. Chu Chen doesn't get it yet. Tusha Oxia explains they hope Chu Chen will guide them, and they want to keep hanging out with him. Chu Chen smiles and agrees, since going alone would be boring. He also asks everyone to help with sparring practice. Shen Jiashui gladly agrees. A sudden voice interrupts. LV Diandian appears, asking to join because she wants to grow stronger. The whole group then heads to the elite class. She lights up at the sight and wonders if she really gets to study here. She thanks Chu Chen for genuinely helping her. He says he only mentioned it to the principal, who agreed immediately. Elv Diandian bows in thanks, and Hu Wei says no need to be formal. He announces the elite class will have full access to equipment, and benefits plus renovation plans will roll out. Thanks to the champion's reward, everything he dreamed of can finally be done. Hu Wei looks at his talented students with gratitude. Shen Jiashui cries because he graduated before enjoying the facilities. Ma Wenhao yells at him not to ruin the mood. Hu Wei laughs and says he can always visit again. Tu Xiaoxia asks why Dian suddenly trained seriously, and Shen Jiashui also wonders when they became close. She blushes, saying she once thought she had no talent, but seeing them fight for dreams made her want strength. She's confident in social studies and plans to apply to a major academy via talent track, needing only level 2. She decided to take a risk when submitting her application, moving Tu Xiaoxia to tears. Tu Xiaoxia vows to help fully, and Dian Dian plus the whole class immediately agree to support. Shenjiashi asks Chuchen directly about his next path, and he honestly says he hasn't received any notice. Shenjiashi is shocked, questioning since everyone else already has admission letters, while Chuchen says he doesn't know why. Hu Wei calls out, saying he has something to discuss about this. Hu Wei presents a red letter, the admission notice delivered today. Shenjiashi happily grabs Chuchen's shoulder, wanting to see which of the 5 top academies accepted him. Chuchen opens it and finds an official invitation from Po Xiao Academy, inviting him on 16/09 to 2026, with instructions to keep or break the entry card to accept or decline. Shenjiashi is stunned, realizing Po Xiao outranks even the 5 major academies. Chuchen is confused, asking what that means. Shenjiashi explains the 5 most powerful academies, each symbolizing peak authority, but only one academy stands above them all. Shenjiashi states firmly, that is Po Xiao, which even the 5 elite academies defer to when it chooses someone. Chuchen wonders why Po Xiao is so powerful, yet not listed among the top 5. Hu Wei explains its value far exceeds them because it was founded specifically to handle rift zones. He adds seriously that although rift matters are top secret, with their current status, a brief explanation is fine. Elf Diandian worries she lacks clearance and should leave, but Hu Wei says secrecy is enough. Hu Wei explains a rift is a vast space full of creatures as strong as Rujia, capable of spilling out to cause disaster. Thus, whenever a rift appears, Rujia must enter immediately to eliminate the creatures. Though profitable, the danger is extreme. Hu Wei once joined the Kai H extermination team, but during one mission they suffered heavy losses. He recalls the chaos and tragedy. Eventually, their pillar fighter was gravely injured and disabled, forcing the team to collapse. He says other academies also require rift exposure, but Po Xiao's difficulty and risk are the highest, so he urges Chuchen to think carefully. If he refuses, many academies still want him, so he doesn't need reckless danger. But Chuchen firmly chooses to go, seeing it as a place to earn money and grow stronger. Hu Wei is satisfied, believing Chuchen has the qualities of an exceptional warrior. Shenjiashi is excited, saying they'll all grow stronger so rifts no longer scare them. He remembers the entry date is 16/9, only 10 days away, shocking Chuchen, who has no rest time. Hu Wei notes Po Xiao operates differently. Chuchen rushes to prepare and apologizes for not helping the class leader. The class tells him not to worry. After a while, he returns to his familiar room. He mutters while checking what to pack: clothes, shoes, umbrella. His gaze stops on the bright purple flame before him. Ta Shen is standing before the strange black stone. He points directly at the mysterious stone. The stone immediately trembles in response. Ta Shen absorbs all the energy inside it. The stone falls and shatters into pieces. Chuchen panics, shouting because his precious stone is destroyed. He cries over losing a chance to earn money, while Ta Shen calmly says he drained its power so it's worthless, then asks why he's stressed when preparing for enrollment. Chuchen explains he was chosen by Po Xiao for its resources to pay debts and grow stronger, though rift missions are dangerous. Ta Shen says rifts aren't scary since Rujia and rift creatures share the same origin, their strength comes from there. Chuchen awkwardly asks for something to keep him alive, but Ta Shen yells at him for treating him like a free gift machine. He says the rift matches his own goal, so hell help this time, and the stone let him recover some power, so hell give Chuchen an item. Instantly, a massive dark force engulfs Chuchen's entire body. System tones announce a fragment of creative power is merging with him. The system finishes scanning and restructures his body, upgrading him from E4 to E6 and completing his enhancement form. The process ends, and he officially receives a fragment of creative power. He wonders what it is, and the info panel says it's part of the creative demon god Satosto's power. Ta Shen explains Satosto is his friend, and this creative power can unlock potential, generate a fitting power system, even change body or race. Chuchen asks why make it complicated, and Ta Shen scolds him for thinking upgrades alone are enough. He says levels only raise physical base. While true strength depends on post-awakening potential, creative power ensures a superior awakening. Chuchen recalls Lam Shen awakening a 1-star ability and realizes potential determines survival in rifts one monster could crush him otherwise. Ta Shen adds that creative power manifests based on the user's perception, so talking is pointless, just experience it. Chuchen notices his body stopped absorbing energy. The fragment fully rebuilt him, and the system interface now resembles a familiar game style. The status panel shows bloodline, rank, stats, and remaining wishes, making him wonder if there's a shop menu. The system says shop, rank up, and management are locked until D7, leaving him both happy and disappointed at his low rank. When trying to upgrade, the system reports missing souls obtainable only from rift creatures, startling him because he can't level up at all. Chuchen panics and asks Ta Shen why he can't absorb energy anymore, and entering a rift at E rank is suicide. Ta Shen sighs, saying he's panicking too much as if dragging him along. Then he says one wish remains and decides to give another reward. The system announces he receives Kadala's demon armor. Chu-chen is stunned, thinking it's normal armor. The demon armor is described as a special soul-powered tool from Kadala that attaches to the body, forming armor, blocking hits, and boosting combat power. Chu-chen is excited since it adds defense and strength even if partial. Ta-shen cries because he spent all his energy and wants him to repay by working hard. The next morning, a taxi arrives, and Hu Wei checks on Chu-chen preparing to depart. He says he wants to reach Central City early for enrollment, and Hu Wei tells him to contact if he needs help. Chu-chen hands Hu Wei a letter, asking him to visit his mother in the hospital and deliver another letter to his sister if they meet. Hu Wei asks why he won't give it himself, and Chu-chen admits they're not getting along. Hu Wei keeps the letter, promises to look after his family. Shen Jishui says they'll visit in half a year and hopes Chu-chen will guide them, and Tu Xiaoxia tells him to stay in touch. Chu-chen turns away relieved and begins his journey. After a while, the taxi stops at Universal Airport. The staff asks if he's flying to mid-city. Hearing he's enrolling, she's puzzled because it's vacation time. She asks for documents, and Chu-chen shows his card. She freezes after seeing it's a Po Xiao card, something never seen in the outer tier. She looks up, shocked that an ordinary teen is a Po Xiao student. Chu-chen sees her fear and doesn't understand why. He tries to show the invitation, but she stops him, saying the card alone is enough. She guides him through and says passengers to mid-city fly free. Soon the plane takes off. Chu-chen relaxes in first class, surprised at Po Xiao privileges. He falls into thoughts about this mysterious academy. A notice says the plane will arrive at 10 a.m. next morning. Chu-chen stands before Po Xiao's gate, stunned by its grandeur. He notes it's majestic yet too quiet, unlike a school. He goes to reception for new student procedures and is asked for his card. The receptionist exclaims upon seeing his name. He says they've been waiting for Chu-chen and asks him to follow, leaving Chu-chen confused since he knows no one. The staff explains someone else wants to meet him. They stop before a stone slab and tell Jushen to stand in the center and touch the black card to it. Jushen is surprised such a hidden place exists. Guessing it's a secret passage, the man just says hell no soon. The man warns Jushen to brace himself as it might feel dizzy. A flash of light makes Jushen widen his eyes. In an instant, he's standing before a dazzling building. This is the teleportation zone. He realizes the first place wasn't the real facility. The clerk explains they must use a transfer stele because the academy is far away. After walking a bit more, the man says they've arrived. The clerk softly announces she has brought the person Lin En needs to meet. Lin En sits gracefully with tea, exuding authority. She gently asks whether Jushen still remembers her. He says he always has and even planned to thank her, not expecting she's his senior. Lin En says she sent the payment. The clerk bows and leaves. Jushen steps up and asks why she invited him specifically. A male student rushes out, calls him an outer district commoner, and blocks him from approaching Lin En. Lin En scolds him, saying Jushen is a guest. She invites him to sit, but Jushen says to just talk directly. Lin En bows slightly and says her guild lacks members, and she wants to invite him to join. And as for payment, 300 million stunning Jushen since normal hiring rates rarely reach 1 million. Tui Mingcheng yells she's crazy. That amount could hire 3 peak B ranks or 3 early A ranks, and Jushen isn't worth it. Lin En snaps back, demanding when he gained the right to meddle. He pales, stammers an apology, but secretly seethes, unable to grasp why Jushen is being protected. Shishi stands aside, silently watching. Lin En adds that since Jushen just reached the mid-tier, he likely hasn't joined any guild, and this is her highest offer ever, hoping he senses her sincerity. Jushen hesitates because the offer is tempting, but he's only E rank and can't see why she'd pay so much, so he plans to decline. The school broadcast calls all first-year males to gather in an hour. Lin En guesses the last freshman has arrived and says Jushen can leave his luggage there. She says hesitation is normal, suggests he think it over, and after the orientation he can choose her as supervisor as repayment. Jushen says hell think carefully. Lin En is pleased and asks Chi Si to take him to the hall. At the hall, the freshmen already fill the seats. A blonde guy boastfully shows off for arriving last as if he's the star. He plans to approach Lin En, thinking befriending or marrying her will boost his clan. He glances at Jushen, mocks his poverty, and sits beside him to look superior. On stage, a professor says he'll be brief because he has work. He introduces himself as Zhang Hui, mainly in charge of scheduling exams and grading, while student life won't be restricted. He says that no matter their past talent, once here all glory is left behind. They're freshmen facing the rifts. He explains rifts are places where Rugia are both hunters and prey. Human weapons are useless, only Rugia bodies and gear made from rift materials work. Po Xiao is the elite defensive line, and they are its fighters. They may study in the library and join combat training rooms. Instructors from many fields will teach weekly. They choose subjects freely. The more they understand rifts, the higher their survival and growth, and those who can't adapt should leave. Zhang Hui notes the students seem calm and driven, counting this as passing the first evaluation. He tells them to collect the school's reward. Skill stones appear, shocking students with their high value and rarity. Jushin activates a battle-mark skill stone, gaining the ability to read Greg's script from the rifts. Jianghua reminds them of 2 tests, the entrance test and clearing a low-level rift. Next demands are reaching D rank in 6 months and earning 100 credits in 1 year, worrying many about their current level. Blondehead is confident at E5, thinking D rank is easy. Jushin is tense at E6 and must find a way into rifts instead of relying on potions. Jianghua reassures them the school's potions are cheaper and mentors will help with credits. A white-haired girl appears right after his introduction. Students cheer loudly. He says these are upperclassmen who will evaluate first years. Jianghua says freshmen may choose one upperclassman as mentor who will handle their entrance test. The group is shocked to meet them in person. Students whisper that the white-haired girl is the Flame God's successor. Anyone she backs can enter that guild. Jushin becomes curious about the Flame God. A male student asks to follow Lin En, but she judges him energy-oriented. She refuses, saying she specializes only in spell arts. Many others ask, but she coldly rejects them as mismatched types. A girl hesitates, saying members of the 4 great guilds are too distant. Jianghua sighs at Lin En's behavior. He reminds her she must take at least 1 student or be assigned the last one. Expectation flickers in her eyes. Jushin realizes she seems to be eyeing him. Blondehead thinks it's his turn since others were rejected. Has sure that even if denied, the last slot will still be his. Jushin stands and calls Lin En by name. He says he wants to study and walk beside her and asks her to be his mentor. Lin En blushes at his straightforward words. Others dismiss his words as empty and unconvincing, but Lin En unexpectedly agrees, stunning everyone. She smiles and confirms she chooses him. Blondehead erupts, unable to grasp her criteria. Later at the mission area, Jushin asks why she chose him. He wonders why a successor of a major guild would spend resources on a rookie like him. She vaguely says it's for both guild reasons and personal ones. Details after the test. The priority is passing the trial she prepared. She points to the group beside her. They're introduced as his assessment teammates. The burly man confirms Jushin's name. Lin En tells the whole group to introduce themselves. Tu-Han, C5, with stealth potential, says he only supervises and intervenes only in life-threatening moments. Saving him means failure. Loey says she's D rank and can heal injuries. Xiaolin says he's wind-type range support at D rank. Li Ye, D3 weapon enhancer, is the captain and orders everyone to obey. He asks why Jushin has no gear. Jushin explains he's an E-rank freshman not yet awakened. Li Ye is annoyed to be grouped with someone untrained, calling the grouping sloppy. Xiaolin and Liao Wei cut him off, saying complaining is useless. Li Ye warns he won't let Jushin drag them down. Liao Wei tells Jushin to stick to her in the rift. He assures he has fighting experience. She sighs, thinking without weapons or talent he can't harm rift creatures and is overly confident. Li Ye heads to registration, files the assessment request, and is assigned room 1. He receives a world shard to activate the rift entrance. The rift opens and Li Ye urges the team forward. Jushin observes the energy flow and realizes it's a real rift. He hopes to find something to help him rank up. The system says they've entered a dark cave, making Liao Wei wonder what kind it is. A strange sound behind startles Xiaolin as foes close in. Li Ye immediately commands a standard formation. Jushin is shocked they form up in an instant. Tu-Han vanishes and signals the test begins. Li Ye shouts tensely as monsters appear. A pack of D-rank shadow wolves charges out. He instantly understands why they tracked so fast. Xiaolin fires Wine Boost skills. Wind arrows strike the pack. Li Ye unleashes a brutal slash, cutting down the weaker wolves. Blood-pumped, he rushes ahead, making Xiaolin panic and call him back. She's careless and gets her arm bitten by a wolf. Liao Wei rushes in to heal her. Another wolf closes in behind Liao Wei. She panics, thinking she can't dodge in time. Jushin charges in and kicks the beast away. He asks if she's hurt, leaving her flustered as she answers. The system says he gained a soul and awakened prompt. He realizes only killing beasts himself grants souls. Each of these gives 10 points. He laughs, thinking stronger beasts must give more, and sets his eyes on the big one behind. Xiaolin struggles and cries for healing. Liao Wei rushes to help. She casts healing on Xiaolin. She looks at Jushin in surprise, having missed his move. From above, Tu-Han judges their power decent, but teamwork poor, especially Li Ye abandoning the back line. She says with such reckless behavior, they'll likely fail without correction. Li Ye grows wild, boasting he can clear the test alone. A monster silently emerges behind him. He turns and aims his sword as if he sensed it first. He slashes down on its head. Then he pales, knowing he's in trouble. 2 massive D-rank rock wolves charge fiercely. Li Ye panics and instinctively retreats. Xiaolin is shocked such wolves appear in this zone. She worries his scream has drawn the whole pack to surround them. Li Ye yells for Liao Wei to run up and heal, though it's too far. He threatens she'll take the blame if he fails. Xiaolin shouts for her to stay back. A rock wolf suddenly leaps. Tu-Han says charging up like that is suicide. She angrily prepares to intervene, feeling the exam is collapsing. but she stops as she sees something unexpected. A hand pulls Liao Wei back in time. Jushin blocks the beast's jaws with his bare hand. He crushes its head and gains 30 souls. He notes it's tougher than Shadow Wolves, but his demonic armor still breaks through easily. He orders the team to follow him to break the encirclement, stunning Liao Wei. Jushin grabs a sword from the ground. He charges straight into the beasts. The sword cleaves a wolf's head in one strike. He kills it cleanly and gains another 30 souls. Another wolf leaps. He finishes it instantly and gets 30 more souls. Han is shocked the freshman outpowers D rank. Xiaolin doubts an E rank can move like that. Liao Wei urges her to keep close. The pack of rock wolves keeps closing in. The two girls run beside him, determined. Jushin's eyes flash and he orders them to get down. Multiple notifications of 30 souls ring out. The beasts are torn apart completely. He says they're safe for now and asks Liao Wei to handle the injuries. She nods while Xiaolin trembles, wondering who Jushin really is. Liao Wei goes to heal the suffering Liya. He snaps at her while Xiaolin stands guard with Jushin and thanks him for earlier. Jushin is pleased his soul total hits 270, opening rapid advancement. Liya screams that they don't get he wants to quit the exam. Liao Wei urges him to calm down and try, but Xiaolin snaps back as he calls them burdens ruining his test. Xiaolin retorts that he rushed too early and caused chaos, while Liao Wei tries to mediate and regroup them. Liya blames the team for his heavy injuries as the vanguard, claiming they're useless without him. In his mind, he's smug, wanting them to beg him to keep leading. Jushin steps up and says if so, he can stay behind and let the rest go. He says he'll take the vanguard role and lead the team through the rest. Liya jumps up screaming, refusing to believe he'd dare take the role. Jushin sees this as a rare chance and insists the team needs a vanguard and he's capable. Liya mocks him, saying without gear he'll be torn apart by the boss. Xiaolin cuts in, supporting Jushin. Liao Wei agrees, shocking Liya. He asks why they trust someone unarmed, but both say they've seen his strength and won't throw away the exam. Xiaolin snaps that he's more reliable than someone whining to quit. If Liya won't go, he can stay. She coldly turns and calls Jushin and Liao Wei to leave. Liya fumes at being ignored despite being captain, vowing they'll regret it. The trio push deeper into the wolf nest. The beasts spot them and charge. But Xiaolin's arrows pin them down. She proudly says she stopped the attack. Jushin praises her and keeps gaining soul points from the slain beasts. Liao Wei warns of hidden wolves from the left. Xiaolin reacts immediately. Another wolf sneaks behind them, but Jushin kills it instantly. The system gives 10 souls. He asks if both are unharmed. Liao Wei happily reports they're fine, and that might be the last one. Xiaolin wonders how many they've taken. Liao Wei counts roughly 40-50 and is surprised how smooth it's been. Liao Wei smiles, praising Jushin's vanguard role for keeping pressure low. He modestly credits team coordination. Xiaolin is excited, feeling they're close to the end, and urges the team to push. Liao Wei agrees. After a bit, Xiaolin recalls something. She asks about the blue flash on Jushin's hand during combat. Since she's never seen it, Liao Wei is curious too. Jushin, embarrassed, vaguely says he's not sure it appeared on its own. Xiaolin guesses it's a special talent energy armor. Liao Wei asks how he awakened before D rank. He just dodges the question. Xiaolin lightly scolds him for saying he had no talent. Liao Wei defends him, saying freshmen rarely know rules and early awakening is rare. She advises him to state his talent clearly to avoid being underestimated since good vanguards are prized. Jushin nods. He sighs because team rules force grouping, and many beasts were killed by allies, costing him soul points. Soloing would avoid kill steals. The system shows 810 souls, making him worry whether he can reach 2,000 to rank up. From afar, Han is shocked the team functions well thanks to an E-rank rookie, seeing he's strong and commands better than Liya. She now understands why Lin En insisted on recruiting him and expects the exam to end soon at this pace. But she wonders why Liya is masking his aura and secretly tailing them. He now emits a fierce killing intent. Xiaolin suddenly halts, sensing something odd. Liao Wei thinks the dead end ahead should be the final point, yet no target appears. She wonders if the test lacks a boss or they accidentally killed it, but Xiaolin denies it. If the boss died, the rift would start closing. The group is confused since the rift hasn't closed, meaning the test isn't done. Liao Wei suspects an extremely rare special scenario. Jushin uses instinct to spot the anomaly. He tenses up and warns to look above. A huge creature suddenly drops down. The impact sends heavy tremors. Xiaolin realizes it had been stalking them. Through the mist, its form becomes clear. The monster leader appears with its underlings. Xiaolin goes pale, unable to believe the sight. 3 large, low-tier dark demon wolves stand before them, led by a D-rank rock wolf. Han rushes in, ordering retreat and pausing the exam, startling her. She panics since the difficulty far exceeds test standards for rookies. With their strength, they can't endure. Forcing a fight risks casualties. Jushin weighs it. High soul value, but soloing is too risky. The system window pops up with a new quest. It's his first wish mission. Leaving the rift counts as forfeit and earns punishment. He recalls the warning. Violating the pact means death-level punishment, frustrating him at being cornered. He fumes, thinking this setup forces him to fight. Realizing the trap, he laughs bitterly. He rolls up his sleeves and volunteers to fight. Tu-Han panics, doubting his intent. He activates demon armor, declaring all beasts his targets. The system shows owner authority E6, limited stats, only sensing and Kyra demon armor unlocked. He faces the 4 giant beasts head-on. Tu-Han blocks him, warning danger. Xiaolin says he must have a plan. She accepts since rules allow students to choose, even recklessly. He orders the team to fall back, saying hell hold the monsters. Liao Wei worries and offers to retreat with him. He knows their aura far exceeds standard. Without demon armor, he'd die in a single hit. Even so, he feels no fear and even smiles, finding it fitting. He taunts them, prompting one beast to roar back. On cue, the whole pack charges to surround him. He instantly triggers sensing. In a flash, he slips past a lethal pounce. He weaves through deadly blows as if effort-free. Hidden behind a rock, Xiaolin exclaims he's fighting evenly with 4 domain leaders. Liao Wei thinks the captain was even stronger. Tu-Han adds that awakened Rujia must solo domain leaders, but this is her first time seeing anyone barehandedly fight them with an unguessable talent level. She still trembles, realizing mere evasion won't work. Domain leaders aren't that simple. He keeps dodging, noting the demon wolf's speed nearly matches his. 1 is manageable, 4 is lethal. Knowing stalling wastes energy, he decides to thin them and shouts to take down the leader first. He charges and strikes one's head. A flash stuns him briefly. He sees that even full force plus demon armor can't pierce its protection. The beast triggers its domain skill, active rock armor. The wound closes instantly, shocking him with its regeneration. He grits his teeth, realizing it wants to drag out the fight and force him to find a breakthrough. Liu hides behind a rock, unbelieving he's still alive fighting 4 leaders. He convinces himself that if Jushin can do it, he could do better. He deludes himself that captaincy and the kill credit should have been his and blames Zhu Shen. He grips his sword and charges toward him. He secretly aims to kill him and steal the credit, shouting his intent. Jushin flicks lightly, knocking Liyu's sword away. He looks at him with satisfaction, thinking his timing is perfect. Then he sidesteps, terrifying Liu. The beast unleashes a defense boost skill. Liu can't react and is blasted away. He slams into a rock, screaming in pain. His sword keeps spinning through the air. Jushin snatches it mid-air and grips tight. He anchors himself on a rock edge and prepares to go all out, channeling all soul points into speed. The system says he spends 800 souls to raise agility from 0 to T5. He gains the skill Godspeed and vanishes like a flash. He beheads one beast, gaining 750 souls. He smiles, one target down. As surprised, the stat boost also triggered a skill, giving Pleasant 10 agility and a speed-based power buff. He eyes the beasts, evaluating his new capability. With this strength, even the boss is no threat. 2 more are manageable. Tu-Han is stunned, his speed soared again. The pressured beast roars in fury. Xiaolin grumbles because they still must save Liu. Then another demon wolf lunges, making Liao Wei cry out in fear. She resists fiercely, refusing to be bullied. She unleashes Energy Storm Surge. He arrives just in time, calling Zhao Lin's name. He praises her and cuts down the beast, gaining another 750 souls. His total hits 2260, meeting the 2,000-point goal. Another rock wolf still charges. He quietly declares his rank up. The system raises him from E6 to D1, leaving 260 souls. A surge of power erupts around him. Tu-Han and the others freeze in shock. The system unlocks Deep Abyss talent, letting him create his own domain. Rank up mission complete, awarding an exclusive skill. 992 wish points left. He turns back coldly. Death Touch activates, granting 4 piercing strikes within the Dark Abyss field. The beast stares at him in despair. He decisively beheads it. The system records his new state at rank D1. It adds 5,000 souls to his pouch. He's pleased the Domain Lord dropped many points, letting his new piercing skill finish it quickly. With the mission done, he collects the Nam Lang Wang crystal and core, unsure of their use. Zhao Lin rushes over in worry. Liu Wei praises him and wonders if the beast had a second phase. Tu-Han confirms the energy is stable, the Domain Lord is dead, and the trial is cleared. Xiaolin cheers at finally passing. Liu Wei hugs her emotionally. She thanks him for helping the team. He shyly reminds her to call him Zhu Shen, and Tu-Han says she'll file the report. She announces the 2 girls get 5 course points, though Liu Wei feels all credit is his. She insists they still deserve praise for staying calm and not quitting. She calls him the top freshman, skilled and commanding, and for slaying 4 domain lords, he gets max bonus plus Liyu's points, totaling 15. The 2 girls are stunned by the score. He bows in thanks, she says no need, and that the score could be even higher. Meanwhile, Liu fumes over lost points, but Tu-Han bluntly says he doesn't deserve them. She rules he abandoned the team, endangered them, and tried to harm teammates, so he's disqualified. He panics and argues, but is shut down, told to complain if he wants. She warns an investigation would only worsen things, making him pale. She tells everyone to leave the rift while it's open. They agree. Back at the office, she reports results and says rewards arrive within 24 hours. The group rejoices. Li Yu leaves in defeat. Zhao asks for his contact. Liu Wei wants to connect for future missions. Tu Han suggests he join the Shadow Guild, saying its requirements are lighter and he could get a 3 million offer. He thinks the price is high compared to earlier offers, but refuses since he's undecided. She's a bit regretful, knowing he aims for Divine Flame, and leaves the offer open. A familiar voice calls in, praising his smooth exam. He sees it's Lin En. She gently says she came to pick him up. Tu Han hides her disappointment and congratulates him. Zhao Lin waves goodbye. He asks if she waited for him. She says yes, and already moved his luggage to the dorm. She leads him to his new room and shows the place. She notes he can upgrade rooms with more credits. He's surprised since this one is already good. He asks her to explain why she invited him after he'd finished the exam. The assistant is uneasy, but Lin En tells her to speak since they trust him, and he's qualified to silence the doubters. He asks who they are, and she explains the guild is split into 3 factions fighting for succession, even though she's the rightful heir. She must build her own faction to keep power and needs his support. He understands the guild is unreliable inside and asks why she trusts him. She says she watched him from sparring to real combat. His power use and blunt nature impressed her, plus one key reason. She directly asks about his large debt and admits she secretly investigated. She explains the lending group is a front. Behind it is a major conglomerate tied to the central authority that can access and control borrowers' data even after repayment. Coincidentally, her rival owns that conglomerate. If he sides with her, she'll shield his data and erase all risks once she wins, giving him full freedom. He reflects that a guild backing gives safety and perks, and he has no reason to refuse. He agrees and asks for tasks. She's pleased and says no rush, just follow her plan. She calls her assistant, who answers by habit. His phone alerts with 5 million transferred instantly, startling him. She says it's the minimum commitment for a C-rank contract and a show of sincerity. The rest comes after signing, stressing her expectations. She tells him to rest and contact her any time. He replies he has troubled them enough. The dorm door closes behind them. Exhausted, he lies down to review the day's gains. At rank D, he unlocks more functions and wants to see how to use 5,000 souls. In his stats, he sees potential tied to the Dark Abyss system, costing double souls. He notes upgrade demands scale fast, while raising attributes can unlock combat skills like when he got Divine Speed. He adds 5 points into potential. Death Touch rises to 6 uses and unlocks Dark Abyss space with 160 storage slots. He confirms boosting potential upgrades the whole Dark Abyss system. He tests it by storing items. The LV1 vault holds 3 items: water, the Nam Lang crystal, and armor scrap ready for retrieval. Has surprised to see ranking in shop tabs, though ranking is locked for missing items. But what he wants most is the exchange shop. The list shows potions, swords, shields, greatswords, axes, daggers, and more, all priced in souls. Shocked to see weapons, he recalls the battle and buys a 1,500 soul greatsword for more firepower. With the new blade, the weight and grip feel right. Seeing his souls drop from 5,000 to 2,160, he realizes upgrades and gear burn fast, so he saves the rest. The evil god jolts at a strange aura, and Jushin panics, thinking he's done for. Has thrilled to discover the system can store the creature and even summon it to fight. The evil god is confused at how fast he's mastering Dark Abyss, and Jushin says he learned how to level it after the near-death test. The evil god frowns, as this development is far beyond expectations in such a short time. He starts looking forward to it, saving effort in guiding him and able to push him into rifts at the right time. They later head to the rank appraisal department. Jushin waits with everyone. The evil god asks why, and he says he needs the assessment to take missions more easily. The staff calls his turn and Jushin stands and walks in. The receptionist questions him, confirms he's a freshman, says few his age-awakened potential, and outlines the procedure. The device measures power rarity by color. There are 5 tiers: bronze, silver, gold, platinum, and legendary, with higher meaning broader growth. But lower tiers still have a chance to break through via a second awakening. Some people nearby happily show off their ranks. The staff hands him a black card and tells him to place his hand on the machine. Jushin does so, and the light column erupts violently. The employee is terrified because the colors flash chaotically, breaking the normal process. When it ends, she freezes, unable to react. The machine suddenly fires a distorted beam. At the same time, a surge bursts from him. People around blanch in fear, whispering at the intense fluctuation. They can hardly breathe under the pressure from the unknown potential. The staff watches in shock, never seeing the device glitch this wildly. The system reports a result that stuns her. A purple tear, a color never recorded. They say the ability is called Apostle, sounding like a profession, making Ju Shen curious. She explains first awakenings usually show single skills, while classes appear only at the second, yet he has one right away, breaking all norms. The department head rushes over after hearing the commotion, demanding answers, startling her. She points to Jushin and reports a purple tear with the Apostle title like a second awakening, shocking him into requesting the record. After reviewing, he confirms the machine cannot air since the tech isn't from this world. His conclusion, it is indeed purple tear, a totally new grade. He immediately reports it. Data verified, power name Apostle, and purple tear confirmed. Staff quickly brings the finished card. The head inspects it and nods. He hands it to Jushin, saying this is the first potential rank in history, and is temporarily unique due to lack of reference data. Further studies on Apostle will follow. Jushin looks at the card, suspecting it relates to the power fragment. Onlookers buzz about the unique tier, unsure of its strength but finding the name Apostle odd. Jushin thinks it sounds cool but feels like a hired hand, though it's enough to accept missions. In the hall, a student approaches and calls to him. He introduces himself as Zhang Hao and invites Jushin on a gathering mission since he's short on people. He asks for details, and Zhang Hao says the mining job is certified safe, lower points than hunting but stable with good pay. Jushin calculates each gets 2 credits and 50,000, so he accepts. Zhang Hao happily tells him to join the posted task in the school app before departure. He drags Jushin to the team, announces they're full, and everyone prepares to go. Jushin asks about supervision. Zhang Hao says only freshman tasks are free, others must hire, and this one is simple, so none needed. They enter the mineral cave, amazed at the massive ore vein. Jushin praises the scenery, while the evil god is startled by odd energy. He awkwardly calls to him, but Jushin checks the task board, assuming a new request. The task needs 150 ores in 1 hour, or it counts as abandonment with penalties. Jushin confirms it's a gathering mission. The evil god is pleased since the area's energy helps him recover, and tells him to work well. Zhang Hao hands Jushin a spare pickaxe and tells him to start. He agrees. The team works together mining ore. Zhang Hao is surprised by Jushin's strength, guessing its attack potential. He gives a vague reply. Zhang Hao is thrilled since combat types help teams, while his vision boost ability is useless so he only does gathering. The evil god suddenly yells he can't absorb the ore, suspecting Jushin did something wrong. Jushin checks and sees the system denies permission, blocking Dark Abyss absorption since the ore isn't his property. Seeing him freeze, Zhang Hao urges him and warns not to hide ore because it belongs to the school, and theft is severely punished. Jushin's face darkens, realizing why he can't absorb and worrying how to reach the quota in an hour. The evil god gives up, saying Jushin must handle the task himself. The ground shakes, making Zhang Hao panic, thinking it's an earthquake. Someone rushes over, shouting for them to look ahead. They spot a star-eating insect king, contradicting claims the job was completely safe. They explain the creature lives in ore veins and is sensitive to mining. It was angered, so they're ordered to drop ores and flee, while Jushin freezes at learning it lives here. The monster rapidly chases, scattering the team. Jushin falls behind and it closes in on him. He stares at the beast with icy eyes. He suddenly shoves the runner ahead to use as a shield. That runner is Zhang Hao, who trips to the ground and cries out Jushin's name in panic.